Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's political science group review session. Lindsay and I are leading the session today. Thank you, Lindsay. Since there are so many of us here, I'd like it if each of you would wish to talk to either write it down in the chat or use the raise hand function. We don't want to end up talking over one another. As a group, we'll be summarizing and analyzing several different political affiliations today. I'd first like to address that many of us come from different political and personal backgrounds, and we thus have many different beliefs. You will likely hear a viewpoint that you don't agree with. That's a normal part of the democratic process. Let us set up agreements for our community so we can keep the discussion productive.
Yeah, so first we need to be respectful of one another and have a civil dialogue. We will disagree, but at the same time, this is a safe space where we are respectful of each other's diverse personal backgrounds and identities. So our first agreement is that we'll refrain from saying things that we know will be personally hurtful for someone else in the room. And in that way, we can assume that everyone has the best intentions. But those best intentions don't go very far. So you still may hear something or say something that is hurtful for someone, and that's normal. We're going to be exploring, topics like this, and it's going to come up. So if you hear that, we're again going to assume best intentions and that you didn't intend the harm. And if that happens, our second agreement is that we will use the ouch, oops, sorry method. Yes, Azad?
You just mentioned ouch, oops, sorry method. What is that?
Thank you. That is a wonderful question. Say someone says something that feels personally hurtful to someone else. Again, this is a natural part of civil dialogue. We sometimes say things that are hurtful, even though we don't have that intention, and we only have the best intentions, but it still hurts someone. The person who hears it can simply just say, ouch. And the person who made the comment stops and says, oops, sorry. Alternatively, you don't have to wait for an ouch. If you say something and realize it wasn't what you meant to say, for example, if you address someone by the wrong name or pronoun, you can just simply say, oops, sorry. Yes, Crystal.
But what if I don't know that I said something that was offensive? How do I know? How am I supposed to know that I've offended somebody else?
Well, when someone says ouch, we don't try and contest it. This is where, we'll go into the next part of the ouch, oops, sorry method, right? If it's appropriate, we can discuss those hurtful elements of the comment. Yes, Azad.
But is it my responsibility to explain what was wrong with the comment if it happens to me?
That is an excellent point. It is not your responsibility to explain what's wrong with a comment. You can talk more about it, but you don't have to. We can also discuss it as a group, or you can message Lindsay and I separately.
Yeah, and the important thing is that when these incidences occur, we want them to be learning moments. That ouch, oops, sorry method is meant not to shame anyone, but we know that people have best intentions, and so we're trying to normalize talking about these uncomfortable things and people feeling uncomfortable and upset. So instead of using shame or calling people out, we talk about it together and we normalize that process and allow everyone to grow from the experience so that we can just be more constructive. So are there any questions about this?